So for the first wave, I'm going to start with the ocean in the background, and I'm going to make it a fair bit darker than what you can see on the photo, just that we have a stronger contrast between the actual wave and the ocean in the background. Now I'm using calligraphy brushes, natural hair brushes for both paintings, because the key to creating those broken edges at the top of the waves is to dry brush it, and those calligraphy brushes are just much better suited for dry brushing than any other brush that I have. I'm smudging some of the edges there just so that we have different types of edges, hard edges, soft edges, and dry brush edges. I left a bit of sparkle behind the wave there on the left side as well, and I'm going to go and paint the rocks now, as you can see. And for that I'm just using a mix of burnt sienna, a little bit of raw sienna, and then I'm just going to block out the major shapes of the rocks, and gonna drop in some Van Dyke brown and ultramarine blue into that mix just to get the shadows in there as well. I'm going to define those rocks in the next layer once these have dried, but I'm still like to always add different values into my first wash. And those calligraphy brushes also make a really nice point, so I can use one brush to do dry brush and detailed work. But don't ask me where they're from, because they were a present from Japan and I have no idea. I'm scratching out some highlights with a chopped up credit card. Creates nice angular shapes, perfect for rocks. And now I've mixed a bit of cobalt teal with a bit of lavender, and I'm starting off with the shadows of my breaking wave. And I'm using a smaller calligraphy brush now, but same technique as with the top of the wave. And what I'm actually doing is pushing the brush rather than dragging it across the paper. This is a cold press paper, so it's got quite a bit of tooth, which is what you need when you want to use the dry brush technique. Wouldn't work on hot press, so choose a cold press for these type of paintings. Drop in a bit of darker color from my ocean color, just under the crest of the wave to hint at some shadows. And now some of those random lines of the waves breaking and white foam creating a bit of texture. Loosely looking at my reference photo. And then there's a bit of a lighter patch there. And I'm just filling that in. And then adding some of my ocean color coming into the front around the rocks. Because where the wave breaks, there's obviously a lot more foam and the water is a bit lighter. And then as we progress closer to the rocks, the water gets a bit darker again. The ocean is obviously bone dry by now, so I can add in my headland there in the distance. And then I've also put in a very, very pale sky, just with a bit of a grey, really. Just I didn't like the white of the paper. I wanted the white of the waves to be the only white on the page. And now my rocks have dried. So now I'm just going to follow my own textures that I've created. So now I'm not looking really too closely at the reference photo for those rocks, because I scraped in some highlights there. And now I'm just going to pop some shadows underneath what I perceive as the top of the rocks, making sure that it's a big solid shape. I don't want to have too many individual rocks floating around in the foreground. And that one there really stands out, that rock in the middle of the wave. The sun's coming from the right side, so I'm popping in a bit of shadow there. Some of that water is a bit darker, and inevitably you'll lose some highlights. That middle bit there is a bit flat, so I'm just adding some titanium white, which is relatively opaque. And then I'm going to just stipple in a few white highlights there on top of the waves where the ocean spray flies away. A few splatters. And then I'm also scratching in a little bit of texture into my shadows that are still a little bit wet, just to create a bit more rock texture. And there we go. Wave number 1 is done. Almost. Just added a bit more cobalt into that middle section that looked a bit flat. But here we go. Pretty happy with that one. Move on to wave number 2. And here we're going to take the opposite approach, where I paint the shadows of the wave first. The hero of the painting is obviously the waves breaking against the rocks, and there are some shadows created. And that's where I start. And same technique as before. It's relatively dry, my paint. I don't have a lot of water on them, and I'm just dragging it and pushing it against the paper to create this wonderful dry brush effect here, which is just ideal to create wave textures. And then I'm going to paint the ocean as the contrasting background. Again, very dark, so that I have maximum contrast between the white of the waves and the ocean in the background. Putting my paper a little bit on an angle, which helps me paint a straighter horizon line, which I'll end up having to fix anyway because it's not quite straight. And then I'm doing the same as before. I'm carefully painting around the waves with little marks, a bit of dry brushing, just to create a very rough texture of the top of the waves. This needs to have a lot of motion in it. It needs to really feel like the waves are exploding, darkening the horizon, and that's coming along nicely. So again, with my splayed out bristles of my brush, I can create random marks, similar to what I would do for trees, any other natural organic texture. To serve on top of that rock shelf there, random lines swiftly painted. And then I'll start with the rocks. Similar mix, burnt sienna, ultramarine blue, maybe a bit of Van Dyke brown or sepia, just to create a dark, cool brown. And then I'm painting in the rock shape, loosely following the reference photo. Again, don't want to get the rocks too bitsy. It needs to be just a big solid shape. We don't want to distract from the waves with too much detail. But important, having some of the rocks there against the waves. That's why the waves are breaking. They need to be sort of half covered by the wave. Carefully painting them in. And again, I love these calligraphy brushes because even though they're quite big and fat, I can get a lot of detail just by making them into a nice point. I can make them into a flat brush, and I can separate the bristles and then get these lovely textures that I'm using for the waves. Dropping in some different colors and mixes just to get some variations. They are rocks. Rocks are fantastic to paint lots of textures and colors in. Dropping in some of my shadows as well. And then same as before, scratching out some highlights with a credit card. I've chopped out corners and bits out of the credit card so that I have different size surfaces. And you can see that my horizon line is wonky. So I have to straighten that out a bit, which in itself was quite challenging. Maybe I should have used masking tape for that. It was about the wave, not the background, so doesn't matter too much. That's straight enough for me. And now I'm painting the headland in the back. Interrupted, covered by the breaking wave, which adds to the dynamics of this painting. And then I'm going to strengthen some of the shadows inside the waves, strengthening that contrast. And again, a bit of a grey sky there, just to make sure that the white of the waves is the lightest part of my painting, and also allows me to extend that wave a little bit further over the horizon. My rocks have dried, so I'm going to put in my shadows, and just like in the first one, I'm not too closely following the reference photo anymore. Now I'm just following my own painting, making sure that what I see makes sense. So wherever I scratched out a surface highlight, I'll put a shadow underneath it and then work my way towards a believable cluster of rocks. And then also with the credit card, just going to scratch out a little bit more texture into those rocks. Some white splatters with white titanium for a bit more movement. And here they are side by side, the two kinds of waves. For the bonus wave, I don't have a reference photo. That was just out of my imagination, and also recorded that vertically, as you can see. So apologies for that, but you can still see what I'm doing here. This is a stormy sea with big waves in the middle of the ocean. So the horizon line shows the big waves already. It's not a flat horizon. And I've slightly pre-wet my paper and let the water settle. You can see how it fuzzes out a little bit. And I'm coming in with a pretty strong mix of, well, this is a lot of phthalo blue in here with a bit of ultramarine. And I've got a zigzag line there that I'm painting around, which is the crest of those massive waves. And that's coming closer towards us, so the waves get bigger towards the bottom of the painting. And you can see there's that white zigzag line that I'm painting around. And while this is wet, I'm going in with a lot darker blue. It is this indigo, and you can see how dry that mix is. I don't want it to spread too far. And then I'm just going to flick in the shadows of either side of those big waves. And that will create the illusion of a massive swell in the middle of the ocean. Big brush marks closer to the bottom and smaller ones as we recede into the distance. And then I'm going to use a clean and thirsty brush to lift out a few more highlights. And you can see how it's starting to take shape. A few more in the foreground. And that looks like a lovely stormy sea there. And then I'm going to create a stormy sky on top of it. Not too dark. I don't want to distract too much from the ocean itself, but just hinting at some clouds there. This is a relatively small painting, so it's just a demonstration. Dropping in some greys. There we go. And just to get some scale into those waves, I'm going to paint a tiny fishing boat on the horizon. Adds a bit of drama and a bit of a narrative to it. Trying to get home before the storm sets in. And that doesn't need any detail at all. It's just a little shape there on the horizon. A few dots for birds following the boat. And with a bit of wet and wet, you can achieve a wonderful stormy ocean. And here they are again, 3 ways to paint waves. Hope you enjoyed that video. Give me a like and thanks for watching.